Good evening, Anthony. Today's inaugural address really gave us a blueprint for Governor Ron DeSantis' top priorities now that he's in office. While Governor Scott laser focused on jobs, we heard Governor DeSantis today talk a lot about protecting the state's natural resources. He is the first governor from Northeast Florida in about 5 decades. And so when you add that to the fact that the state's top 2 budget writers, the leader in the Senate and the House on the Budget Committee, are from the First Coast, it really appears to put our area, Northeast Florida, in a very good spot. Now, in his inaugural address this afternoon, Governor DeSantis talked a lot about keeping taxes low. He talked about supporting school choice and putting a greater emphasis on vocational training. And then, as I mentioned, really heard a lot about a renewed focus on protecting and saving the environment. The governor says that water is a vital part of Florida's DNA, and he will do everything he can to protect it. We caught up with the chairman of the Duval County Republican Party, Dean Black, and he says that is good news for the First Coast.
Water, with the St. Johns River coming out in Duval County, is clearly important to the residents of Duval County. But also education. Duval County has had struggles with its educational system, as we all know, and they actually have a real concerted plan with resources and a real strategy to address that and provide choices to parents that they wouldn't have had otherwise.